The mansion did not feel real. It felt like a hotel that swallowed a museum, then decided to shine. Marble floors. Gold frames. A staircase wider than most streets. Chandeliers so bright they almost hummed. Evelyn had to remind herself to breathe. "Keep your hands off the piano," Emma snapped. "It costs more than your life." Evelyn froze. She wasn't touching the piano. She was just dusting the glass table near it. Still, Emma's voice cut anyway. Sharp. Loud. Designed to be heard by everyone. That's how it always was here. "Don't worry," Evelyn said softly. "I know what I'm doing." Emma rolled her eyes. "Do you?" She leaned in. "Perfume. Sweet and heavy. Because last week you scratched Mr. Roberts' car door with your cheap bag. He was furious. He said some people shouldn't be allowed near expensive things." "Some people. Not you." "Some people." Evelyn swallowed the heat in her throat. "It was the gate. Not me," she whispered. Emma smirked. "Right. Of course. The poor woman is never guilty." Then Emma walked away on red heels that clicked across the marble like tiny hammers. Click, click, click. The sound followed Evelyn even after Emma disappeared around the corner. Silence settled. Almost. There was always one more sound in this house. Always. Beep. Soft. Careful. One heartbeat long. Beep. There it was again. Evelyn looked up. It was coming from the study. She wasn't supposed to go in there unless she was called. Robert's rule. "Do not enter my office," he'd said on her first day. "Ever. You clean everywhere else. Not there." But the sound didn't stop. Beep. Beep. Something medical, she thought. Machines. Hospitals. Memories. Her stomach tightened. Michael. She had heard the rumors. The son is sick. The son doesn't leave his room. The son costs more than the cars. Cruel gossip from rich mouths with nothing better to do. Evelyn moved toward the door. Just to check. Just to make sure it's nothing dangerous. That's all. That's what she told herself. She pushed the office door. It opened. The study was cold. Dark wood. Expensive books. Heavy silence. And on the desk, next to an oxygen monitor, was a silver frame. Evelyn's breath stopped. Her mind went blank. Her hands began to shake. It was a photo. A little girl. Maybe 7. Hair in 2 messy braids. Strawberry ice cream on her cheek. Laughing at the camera like the world belonged to her. Sophia. Her daughter. Her daughter. Her daughter. No. It couldn't be. Sophia was gone. Taken. Lost 3 years ago at the bus station when everything fell apart. The police had said, "We'll do our best." But their eyes said, "Don't expect much." Everyone else said, "Move on." As if a mother can move on from missing blood. Evelyn pressed the frame to her chest. She could feel her pulse slamming under her skin. She could hear her own breathing, rough and uneven. "How do you have this?" she whispered to no one. "How do you have her face?" The frame slid from Evelyn's fingers and hit the carpet with a soft thud. That was when a voice behind her said, calm and low, "What are you doing in my father's office?" Evelyn spun around so fast she almost fell. There was a boy in the doorway. 17. Maybe 18. Pale face. Dark curls. Loose sweatshirt hanging off him like it belonged to someone heavier. He leaned on the doorframe, one hand gripping the edge, like even standing was expensive. His eyes were sharp though. Not weak at all. "I asked you a question," he said quietly. "Why are you in here?" Evelyn opened her mouth. Nothing came out. "Because how do you answer that?" "Sorry, sir, I'm cleaning. Also, that is my missing child on your father's desk." Finally she managed. "I heard the monitor. I thought maybe something was wrong." Michael looked at the small oxygen sensor on the desk and then back at her. "I'm not dying today," he said. "Relax." It was almost a joke. Almost. But his breath was shallow. His lips were just a little too pale. There were shadows under his eyes that no amount of money could erase. The kind of shadows you get when your body is fighting every day just to keep going. "Still," Evelyn whispered. "If something happened and no one was here." "Emma's here," he said. Evelyn swallowed. "Emma doesn't come when people call for help. She comes when people call for champagne." That almost smile flickered again. Gone fast. His gaze dropped to the frame near her feet. The air changed. His posture changed. "You touched that?" he asked. Evelyn's heart kicked. I was just dusting and it slipped and I didn't mean to." Michael shook his head. "Not the frame. The girl." Silence. Thick. Heavy. Sweating silence. "I know her," Evelyn said, and her voice cracked open. Michael watched her. "You should sit down." "I don't need to sit," she said. "You look like you're going to pass out." "I said I don't need to sit." Her legs were shaking so hard she had to grab the edge of the desk. Michael stepped inside the office, slow, careful. He picked up the photo and held it like it was glass. His thumb brushed over the little girl's cheek in the picture. Gentle. Loving. Familiar. Evelyn felt something cold bloom in her chest. "Who is she to you?" she whispered. Michael looked up. For a second, something unguarded sat in his face. Something soft. Then it was gone. He cleared his throat. "My dad calls her a problem," he said. A chill moved up Evelyn's spine. "A problem," she repeated. Michael nodded once. "Which usually means something he can't control." "Your father," she said. "Robert." People in this town said that name with a certain flavor. A mix of fear and admiration. Like saying the name of a storm that could either water your crops or tear your house off the ground. Michael's jaw tightened. "Yeah. Him." Evelyn tried to swallow. "Where did he get this picture?" Michael didn't answer right away. He turned the frame around and studied the back, like he was memorizing it. Like he'd already done it 1,000 times. Then he said softly, "You're not supposed to know about her." Evelyn stared at him. "Why?" And that was when another voice cut through the air. Colder. Older. Controlled. "What," Robert said from the hallway, "exactly is going on in here?" Robert did not walk into a room. He entered like the room was lucky to have him. Tall suit. Crisp tie. Watch that probably cost more than Evelyn would see in 5 years. He didn't raise his voice. The air just obeyed. Michael didn't move. Evelyn did. She straightened. She wiped her hands on her apron without thinking, then instantly wished she hadn't. The motion screamed, "I'm nervous. I don't belong." "I'm sorry, sir," she said quickly. "I heard a machine and I thought maybe something was wrong, and You were told never to come into my office," Robert said. His tone was calm. That was worse than shouting. "Yes," Evelyn whispered. "But So you ignored me." Michael stepped in. "Dad. Stop. It's not that serious." Robert didn't even look at him. His gaze stayed on Evelyn. Sharp. Hungry. Like a hawk watching a mouse that had wandered out from under the fridge. "What were you touching?" he asked. "On my desk." Evelyn's mouth went dry. "I dropped the frame by accident," she said. "I was going to put it back." Robert's eyes flicked to the photo in Michael's hand. His jaw clenched. He turned back to Evelyn. "Who told you that you could touch that?" "Nobody told me I could touch it. I just saw my missing child in your house. I am trying not to scream." Evelyn lowered her gaze. "No one, sir." Robert exhaled once through his nose. Almost a laugh. "God," he said quietly. This is the problem with hiring desperate people. They start believing the house is theirs. Heat shot up Evelyn's face. Desperate people. She heard Emma's voice again in her head. Some people shouldn't be allowed near expensive things. Some people. Evelyn lifted her chin. With respect, she said, voice shaking but steady. I clean this house. I don't claim it. Robert's eyes narrowed. With respect, he repeated, like the words tasted cheap. Do you know what I pay you? Yes, she said. Then act like it. Silence. The only sound was the beeping from the monitor. Beep, beep. Each one felt louder. Evelyn felt her heart hammer, memory crashing in. The bus station. Rain. Counting coins for 2 tickets. Hers and Sophia's. Sophia's small hand in hers. Warm. Sticky from candy. Evelyn turned for 1 second to grab the dropped suitcase. 1 second. When she looked back, Sophia was gone. People said, maybe she wandered. People said, kids disappear all the time in this city. Evelyn remembered screaming until her voice broke. She remembered the officer who stared at her shoes, not her face. And now her little girl's photo sat in the home of a billionaire who was looking at her like trash. Her knees wanted to buckle. But she stayed standing. Where did you get that picture? She whispered. Robert looked almost amused. That, he said, is not your business. It is, Evelyn said. Because that is my daughter. Michael let out a breath. Robert's expression didn't change. Slowly, he turned his head toward his son. Michael, he said softly. Explain. For a long second, nobody moved. The house felt like it was holding its breath. Michael's grip tightened on the frame. Dad, he said quietly. You told me she was just some file. You said it was handled. Robert's jaw twitched. And I meant it. That's my child, Evelyn whispered. Where is she? Where is Sophia? Robert turned to her, and for the first time, his control cracked. A thin line. But she saw it. Watch your tone, he said. My tone. Evelyn's voice shook. You keep my daughter's photo on your desk. You don't get to tell me how to speak. Michael let out a small, sharp laugh. She's right. Michael, Robert warned. Michael stared back. Pale. Breathing fast now. You lied to me. Again. The air changed. This wasn't normal father-son anger. It was older. Deeper. Like this wasn't the first secret. Robert's voice dropped. You need rest. I need answers, Michael said. They held eye contact. Then Robert smiled. That smile was worse than shouting. Both of you leave my office, he said. Now. I'm not leaving, Evelyn said. Robert turned his head toward her slowly. You are employed here, he said, calm. That can end in one call. I don't care about the job, she said. Real surprise flickered across his face. Fire me, she said. Throw me out. I don't care. But you are not hiding my little girl from me. Something in Robert's eyes shifted. Not anger. Fear. Just for a second. But it was there. Then he said, almost gentle, Michael. You shouldn't get attached. You know how this ends. You know how it always ends. Michael went pale. Evelyn felt sick. I am not a project, she hissed. Robert didn't answer her. He stepped forward, took the frame from Michael, and set it back on the desk like he was closing a door. This conversation, he said, is finished. Then he turned and walked out. The door clicked. Silence dropped. Evelyn's hands were shaking so hard her bracelets rattled. Her knees almost gave out. Michael, she whispered. Talk to me, please. Where is my daughter? He rubbed his forehead like it hurt to think. Finally, he whispered. You're not crazy. You're not mistaken. That girl is Sophia. I know her name. I've heard it. Evelyn felt her whole body heat and freeze at once. Why? She breathed. Why does your family know my daughter? Michael looked up. His voice dropped to almost nothing. Because, he said, my father tried to buy her. And just like that, the room stopped breathing again. Evelyn couldn't breathe. What do you mean? She whispered. Buy. Michael leaned forward. 3 years ago, doctors told my dad I might not make it. My lungs, my heart. I'd stopped caring. He panicked. He showed me an article, Michael said. Missing child. Brown eyes. Name, Sofia Ramirez. He nodded at the frame. Her. Heat rushed to Evelyn's face. I said maybe she could live here, he whispered. Like family. I meant adoption. Papers. Court. Safe. I was a kid. I thought that's how rich people fix things. He swallowed hard. My father didn't mean adoption. The air in the room felt colder. He sent his men to find her, Michael said. Not police. His men. The kind who flash fake badges and say, stay quiet, this is handled. He told them, bring the girl here. I'll deal with the rest. Evelyn covered her mouth. Did he take her? Did he take my baby? Michael shook his head. No. One of the guys refused. He told my dad, that's kidnapping. He threatened to go public. My dad hates scandal more than anything. Evelyn's eyes flooded. So he let her go, she whispered. Not to you, Michael said. Not to the police. He placed her. Placed, Evelyn repeated, throat tight. He pays for her housing. Private school. Security, Michael said. Off every system. No foster file. No ID trail. He calls himself her sponsor. Says it keeps her safe. I think it keeps her his. For 1 second, Evelyn forgot how to move. Sofia was alive. Alive. Her body folded. She dropped to her knees on the carpet. The sound that came out wasn't a scream. It was small, cracked. Years of fear melting and burning at once. Michael knelt in front of her and put a gentle hand on her shoulder. I'm sorry, he whispered. He told me I couldn't tell the staff. He said poor people get emotional and sue. Evelyn laughed, wet and bitter. Poor people, she said. That's what he calls mothers. Michael's eyes shone. Listen. I've seen her. She's okay. She's taller now. Tiny scar on her eyebrow. She laughs loud. She still eats strawberries like she's racing somebody. A sob ripped out of Evelyn. Please, she whispered. Please take me to her. I will, Michael said. Her head snapped up. Your father will destroy you. Michael gave a tired smile. My father keeps my body alive, he said softly. You're the first person who's tried to keep my soul alive. Evelyn wiped her face. She stood. Her legs still shook, but there was something new in her chest now. Not fear. Fire. Then let him come, she whispered. I'm not scared anymore. Michael pushed himself to his feet and offered his hand. Come on, he whispered. Let's go get your daughter. Now I'll ask you. If you were Evelyn, if the rich man who humiliated you also secretly kept your missing child alive, would you forgive him to keep access? Or would you fight him and risk losing her all over again? Tell me in the comments.